loves, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Celia and I'm a Danish model, actress and angelic coach. Today I just want to introduce quickly a little interview that I'm going to show you in a few minutes. An interview that's about the 7-day life purpose juice cleanse, which is a juice cleanse I have recently launched with the purpose of helping spiritual seekers connect with their life purpose and awaken their crown chakra. This happens through juice cleansing because fasting is the only kind of tool we have for actually cleansing the crown chakra. The crown chakra is not cleansed through any foods, not even raw foods, but fasting alone. And juice fasting counts because we are not really digesting anything. So I haven't had time to actually make an elaborate video on this for my channel yet. I hope I will before the 10th, but if not, please check out this interview. You will get to really know the basis of this juice cleanse. And of course, I really recommend you go check out the juice cleanse, which is already available. And for those guys who want to join the 10th, you can join already. If you can't the 10th, you can still get the book and just do it whenever you want. But for the 10th, you have some extra bonuses that you get along with it, such as like a breathwork meditation, access to a private Facebook group, etc. Go check out this interview and stay tuned for a more elaborate video on juice cleansing. This interview is with the lovely lady Katie from Indiana in America, and that's also a raw foodist who has also done a longer juice cleanse. So this juice cleanse actually came to me as an inspired idea through my own juice cleanse. And that is like a typical thing, because when we are juice cleansing, we are more connected with the divine energies. We're more connected with our own creativity because our body is not busy digesting foods, and we actually can use the Kundalini energies for higher purposes. And I wanted to make this cleanse that would help awaken people that partake in it, and more so help connect people with the fact that foods are spiritual, like they can assist us in spiritual awakenings. And it's the same with juice cleansing and raw foods. And I think a juice cleanse is such a powerful experience where you will see it firsthand. And it's just 7 days, but in 7 days a lot of things can happen. So I created this juice cleanse very inspiredly. It was around 6 months ago, and I have worked a lot together with doing all the other things that I do in my life to finalize it and now launch it for you guys. So I'm really excited for that. If you feel called into this idea, I highly recommend you go read about it. I have specifically prayed that the right people will join this cleanse, so if you are one of those people, you will know it because you will feel called into it. And yeah, it will be a really transformative week, because not only will we be juicing together, we'll also be meditating together, and you will be brought into my energy, which is a super powerful thing, because you get to learn from someone who has already done juice cleansing and who has already done crown chakra activation through juice cleansing and meditation. Before we dive into the interview, my loves, I just want to tell you a little bit about the juice cleanse. I realized I haven't really explained much here on YouTube. So this is basically a juice cleanse that lasts for 7 days, and we will start on January 10th. We will do the cleanse together, and with the cleanse you get a whole PDF ebook guide that's for complete beginners. So you will be able to do a juice cleanse successfully, and also you will get 21 recipes, you will get access to a private Facebook group, and you will get a full juicing masterclass video course. So go check the link in the description if you're interested in this, and also if you cannot join the 10th but you'd like to do it still, you can just get the ebook and you can do the cleanse whenever you want, plus we will repeat it later during this year. So yeah, go have a look through the link in the description, and I hope I'll see you guys there. Okay guys, so I think that's it for this introduction. Check out the interview, and I will see you guys in...
Okay, I think she's coming on here in a minute. Yes, good morning, Happy New Year. How are you guys? Is it snowing where you are? I think we just got 6 inches last night. So I'm going to have to go outside and shovel in the cold later. So that should be fun. I am drinking my juice right now. Celia has a 7-day life purpose juice cleanse that she created, and she made these amazing juice recipes. This one is her solar plexus juice. Very good. And then this is her favorite that I made. It's herby lemonade. and it's amazing. Like, honestly, I can see why this is her favorite. This will probably be my favorite. But I'm super excited to try all the recipes. Maybe she's making a juice. Probably. That's a good guess. So yeah, are you guys doing any juicing this year? Are you cleansing or doing any spiritual work for the new year? Let's see. Let me check my connection again. All right. Well, anyway, I'll just talk a little bit more about her course. It's specifically designed to connect you with your life's purpose. It activates the crown chakra, which she'll tell us about as well. And yes, it's a very awesome program she's put together. It comes with video courses, a private Facebook group for support. Oh, there she is. Hello.
I started to like go crazy. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. Awesome.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, yeah. Happy Sunday, Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. And I was just experimenting this morning with your juices. I was telling the audience about your amazing juice recipes and that they have to go join your course, but
Amazing. Yeah, I just have the same one here actually. I almost finished it now.
oh yeah.
But it's the lemonade. Oh, yours looks so green. You must have put a lot of cilantro in there, no?
So yeah, my ratios are a little off, but I'm like totally okay with it because I love cilantro. But yeah, they didn't have any like ripe melons at the store, so I had to use like this pre-cut stuff. So I didn't use a lot of it, but yeah. So I'm waiting for my other one to ripen so I can make more. Because it's so good.
Yeah, the more cilantro, the better, I feel like. In like cilantro, you can just juice in everything and it just tastes so good and it's like so good for you. And
yes, it just has this freshness. It's so amazing. Well, thank you so much for being on today. I have like a ton of questions for you. But I guess we'll just start with you. Like, if you want to introduce yourself and kind of tell us about even like your name, Raw Food Awakening. It kind of goes back to the whole spirituality part of raw foods, and then how you got into juicing from there.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Katie, and I'm so happy I've met you, met you. I mean, I know we haven't met yet, but I love your energy, and we had a live before, and it was really, really nice. So thank you for having me. Yeah, like my name on the page says, I kind of like try and teach people about the connection between what we eat and our spiritual health. Because we know a lot about physical health and, our physical body and cancer and all this sort of stuff. But as most people have experienced at one time or another in their life, we also have spiritual diseases, which are actually many times mental diseases such as anxiety, depression, or just simply not feeling quite good. When we are supposed to feel amazing, we are supposed to feel happy and joyful. This is like our natural state. And I experienced this firsthand because I used to be very mentally have a lot of issues. Like I used to have suicidal depression, and just generally I wouldn't feel good. I just wouldn't feel like I was really at home in my body, like I was really happy. And at one of my lowest points, I found this raw food lifestyle, and I decided to give it a try. Just for weight loss, actually, for something very superficial. And then it totally changed my life. Like within 3 days of eating raw, my depression was gone. Like I was happier than I could ever remember that I had felt before. So I was like, whoa, okay, there's something going on here, and that was 10 years ago. And in those 10 years, I've learned a lot of things. I've experimented with other things as well. And I've come all the way back to the same place where I started, like the raw fruits and vegetables. And it's just, in my experience, so life-changing. And I really want for people to know this. Of course, also about the physical benefits. But, yeah.
Right. That's amazing. Awesome. Yes, and I've noticed a similar thing with raw foods. And I mean, at first I did it for weight loss as well. And it's kind of like, and I still struggle with this. It's like you go to work and you go to school and you do this and this, and you have this go, go, go lifestyle. Everything's busy, and we don't really take time to slow down and to do self-care, self-love. And really, like the juicing and the raw foods, that's like the ultimate self-love regimen, really. And you become more conscious as a result of that, and consuming all the biophotons and everything. So I guess, like, if you want to speak on physical benefits of the juicing and the raw foods, and then also like how that ties in with the spiritual benefits, and then like the biophotons and all of that too.
Yeah, so I mean, people like to say we're spiritual being having a physical experience, but I really believe we're just equally both in a way. Like our physical body is just as important as our spiritual body. And if you're not taking care of your physical body, spiritually you can do all the practices you want, but you're never going to find true liberation, in my opinion. So we have to like take care of both. And luckily, nature designed it pretty smart, so that when we take well care of one, they go kind of hand in hand. So that's why raw foods, when we take care of the physical body through raw foods, spiritually we will also feel better. But juicing, as your question goes, is something really powerful because it can help us cleanse our body, as you've also maybe experienced with your juice cleanse, is that, we get a lot of hydration, and then we get all of the good stuff from the fruits and vegetables, but without having to digest it much. So it's just like a little period where our body gets some time to cleanse. And then at the same time, the fruits and vegetables, they contain like information. It's gonna sound maybe a little bit woo to some people because it's not really so scientific at this point, but it's speculated they contain a lot of information that is like spiritual information that is used to activate some of our chakra centers, and that generally just is used to balance us. And when we juice, we're doing like a fast because we're not digesting anything. And the crown chakra, which is the chakra we have up here around the head, which is our connection with the divine, is only cleansed and balanced through fasting. And juice fasting is the easiest fasting because you're actually still taking in fuel and you can do like your daily life. But at the same time, your crown chakra gets a chance to rebalance. And this has a lot to do with creativity, with the seeing clearly, with life purpose, with understanding why we're here and what we want to do.
Wow, that's amazing. And I've never heard that before. Hearing about your cleanse about the crown chakra, I didn't know that the only way to rebalance that was through fasting. So that's really incredible. Definitely looking forward to your cleanse, which is coming up. And I accidentally announced the wrong date. I put January 8th, but it's actually January 10th for anyone that wants to know. Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. And so the chakras, so do the other juices in your cleanse like help rebalance different chakras? Is that kind of how you designed the course?
Yeah, like I wanted to give this kind of, again, parallel to spirituality, because I see, either there's the spiritual teachers, or they're the teachers who teach about healthy food and raw foods and stuff like that. But I want to combine the two because I think it's in that combination you find like a lot of power. So in the cleanse, I have like 21 recipes that will cover people for the entire 7 days. It's like a 7-day cleanse. And you need maybe around 3 recipes a day, if you want to have some new recipe for every meal. So there's 21 recipes. 7 of them are chakra recipes that cover the main chakras, the ones that go along our spine, though we have a lot of other chakras, but they cover these. So I use them all the time, honestly. For instance, I have like the solar plexus one. The one you made is one of my favorites. It's so good.
It is
And
good.
I always have a little bit of tightness in my solar plexus. So I make that one several times a week, and I feel like it helps a little bit, you know.
Oh, that's
Because,
cool.
yeah, the interesting thing is that all our chakras have colors. Like they're classified by colors because color is a frequency. So that means they're classified by a frequency, and the juice is the same color as the chakra. So that naturally means it's going to help rebalance that frequency of the chakra. So that's just a very simplified way of seeing it.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Very cool. So I'm trying to see here what some questions I have are.
Did you find the mango for the solar plexus juice, or did you make it just with the pineapple?
Oh, actually, I was going to tell you, I actually put mango in here, but I put frozen mango.
Oh,
And
wow.
my juicer started like spitting out like sorbet, like mango sorbet. So I like just mixed it in here. So it's actually really good and like creamy because of the mango chunks in here. But yeah.
Oh, wow. So what kind of juice did you have?
Sorry, what? Juicer? Oh, I have the Cuvines. I'm not sure the exact model. I have the pink one. So, but I do like it. It does kind of struggle sometimes with like pineapple and greens. If you don't like, feed it in slowly, it can get clogged sometimes, but it usually does a really nice job, and the pulp is usually super dry. So,
Amazing.
what kind of juicer do you recommend or use?
I recommend a cheap one because so everyone can kind of get it. You know, I have it in my bio, a link for a juice on Amazon, which is the one that I have,
Oh,
and it's
nice.
just the best priced one for a slow juicer because I think a slow juice is really important.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
But I don't know if you can get it in, yeah, you should, I think in America, because you live in America, right? And where was it in Idaho? Was it there?
Indiana.
Indiana, sorry, something with an
Oh,
I.
that's okay.
You can get the Nama Well has made like one that is like the dream of juices because it's literally like a big container. And you don't even have to cut up your fruit. Like you can just cut off the peel of the pineapple and stick the whole pineapple in. And then it will juice it, you know, and it's gonna save you so much time, but it's only available in America for now. So I'm like waiting for it to come to Europe so I can get it.
Yes,
But it's
I've
like
been eyeballing that one for a while now.
oh yeah. But it's like, you know, the price is totally different.
Yeah. Yeah, that one looks awesome. So I guess I was gonna ask you a little bit about like, have you ever done water fasting in the past? And like spiritually, what's the difference to you between like doing a juice fast versus like just straight water fasting, if you have experience with that?
Yeah, wow, that's some good questions you have. I have to say before I answer, I love your nails. I saw them on the story and they're just like
Oh,
fabulous.
thank you. They're my New Year's nails.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, that's a great question, Katie. And actually, I do have experience with water fasting. That was the first kind of fast that I ever did. I did a 22-day water fast back in 2014 with a doctor because that's a really long time and you need to do it with supervision. And that's actually how I've connected to fasting and life purpose because after I did that fast, suddenly I started drawing a lot, which is something I used to do as a child. I just had all this creativity again. Plus, some time after, I had like literally a vision of my higher self. I know I'm trying to say it in a way that doesn't make me sound like I'm mentally have to go somewhere because in this world it's not very, you know, it's not very seen upon as, you know, a normal thing. But I had literally a vision of my future self, of what I could become. And well, you can't really explain it other than in the moment you just know that what you saw is real. You just know that this was not like just a fluke of your mind. And this person that I saw was like, um, it was like in modeling, working with a really high end brand. And at that time, I wasn't even modeling. Like I wasn't doing anything like that. So I was like, I was really spiritual. I was really like into just fasting and yoga and stuff. And I was like, this doesn't make sense, you know, because it doesn't relate to what I'm doing. But now I'm modeling, and now my life has like totally changed a lot since then. And I also since then like have memories reoccur of when I was like 5 years old. And I was like at this place where they were taking photos, and I just remembered loving it and thinking like, this is what I want to do, you know? Didn't know what it was, but I just knew what I wanted to do. And all of those things was suppressed. Like I was there as a 20-year-old having no clue, you know, but the 5-year-old me knew what I wanted to do. It's just we grew up in a world where we're told you can't, no, 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 you're not good enough, this is hard, this is difficult, you should be a doctor, whatever, you know? So we all at some level or another just hide ourselves and hide our dreams, because like life purpose is really about our biggest dream and about what we dreamed of becoming, not like something, okay, you're here to do this. It's just about becoming what you really want to, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So water fasting was really, really powerful for that. But water fasting is difficult, very difficult. You have to like stop your whole life, basically. You should be with a doctor. You should never do it by yourself, especially if you haven't done it before. So that's why I wanted to do a juice cleanse, because I know that this is safe for people to do. It's more accessible and it has the same benefits, because also the juice cleanse that I wrote, for instance, happened during my juice cleanse. It was literally just an idea like this, and I wrote the book in like a few days or something like that. So I just knew, okay, this is something that's supposed to get out there, you know?
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if that answered your question.
Oh yeah, that's very cool. There's something else I was gonna touch on with that. Like, I was just thinking like how in our society, like our food, like mainstream food, like the media, everything's kind of like numbing us out and distracting us really from like our true self. And like what you were saying, like the raw foods, and just like focusing on self-care and your spirituality brings you back to that, you know, core, like your life purpose and stuff. So that's really beautiful. And I think I see a question here. Let me see.
Yeah.
Somebody says, I'm drinking smoothies instead of juicing because the fiber in fruit is great for the microbiome. Any comment on that?
Yeah, actually, that's an amazing question. I can't see the name of the person right now, but thanks for answering that. And because I used to actually have a huge aversion against juice cleanses, and I had never done one, but I was really into the natural hygiene and like the 100% natural, you know, you don't alter nature. So I totally understand that point of view. And also, juice cleansing, it's a cleanse, in my opinion. It's not something that I think people should maintain, like to do for a long period of time. Some people do, and it works for them, but it's not something that I personally recommend. The fiber is important, yes, it really, really is. But if you do a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks of a cleanse, it's just because you want to give your digestion like a break. You're literally saying to your digestion, okay, you can go on holiday now, you know? Just take a little break because you're working all the time for me. So now I'm just going to take in the juice so that you can rebalance. And actually on that same website, I think, and I don't know if it's the same website, but I have in my juice cleanse book a link to a study that shows that the gut microbiome actually highly improves with the juice cleanse. And there's a link to the specific study in the juice cleanse book, because I also want to include science. And it even showed that several weeks after people breaking the cleanse, they were still experiencing like improved mood, improved productivity, and a better gut microbiome. So there is actually scientific study that juicing can be beneficial. But yes, it's not like avoid fiber, of course not. Fiber is like generally very important.
Gotcha. Great. That's a great answer. I'll have to check that link out too. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, also with like raw foods, I noticed that too. Also, like even just converting from like non-vegan to vegan, you're not consuming that, you know, dead flesh and that's not going through your body. And you have this lifted spirit, and with juices even more, like you said, especially like during my juice cleanse, I noticed this like light feeling by like the second week. And also speaking on the digestion and the like gut microbiome thing, like, I mean, this is kind of related to that. Like you, most people, I mean, I definitely kept going to the bathroom even after like the first week, like solids. I know this is like TMI, we're still coming out. And like, that's just kind of proof to me that our gut does need a break.
Yeah.
Especially if we're eating, some, mainstream foods or whatnot. Even like cooked vegan foods, it's always good to give your body a break. So I definitely agree with that. But yeah, I definitely noticed a difference when, one, I went vegan, and two, the raw foods, and then juicing was like this whole other level that just really it pulls out all these toxins and stuff, and you go through this emotional detox as well. Like old emotions come up and you have to face these things. So did you have to deal with any of that, like through your depression? Did you have like a dark phase, when you were going through like the detox spiritually?
That's a good question. I mean, like any feeling, it was a roller coaster, like some periods you feel great and then you go a bit down. But I never went down to the point that I was before I found the raw foods at any, like, no, not really. But I did have like the moments where then you have to work through some stuff. Because I mean, raw foods are great, but obviously they're not going to heal your childhood trauma. They're not going to heal your inability to express your emotion or whatever. They're just going to at least let you see what it is you have so you can work on it. Whereas other foods maybe numb you to the point where you don't even have the capacity to actually really work as much through the emotions. So no, but I had to work for a lot of stuff, and especially my water fast. Like with a water fast, you don't do anything either. You're just in a bed all day long. So you have nothing but yourself and your mind. So that's fun. It's like next level. And like you say, Katie, I love the way you explain. Vegan, raw vegan, vegan, because many people say, it's like an evolution, that the foods with the higher frequency, it's like you go up towards that. And of course, when you ingest a higher frequency, your body in turn is gonna become a higher frequency. And that's why the lower frequency things in your body, either physical or emotional, are gonna come to the surface. Like either you're gonna eliminate them. Some people have a little bit of skin breakout because you're cleansing a little bit, or you're just gonna feel emotional. And that's normal because you're trying to raise the frequency of your body, so you have to release whatever's weighing it down. And that's why I think it can be so great to do. And every time I do a juice cleanse, I always have especially emotional stuff that I have to work through. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. I was trying to think. I had a thought and I lost it.
In the ether.
So do you have any like people, okay, so for your juice cleanse, do you recommend that people that are even beginners go into it, or do you have like a transition that you recommend for people, or how does that work?
Also a great question. So the cleanse is literally made for beginners. That's why in the book you will find everything you need to know about juicing. So I have, I wish I could show it here now, but in the contents there's like what is juicing, why to juice, how to juice, like the tools you need, the things to be careful with. There's like the 21 recipes and the shopping list for all of the recipes. So literally in that guide, you will find, as a complete beginner, everything you need to know. So you can come as a beginner. It's just 7 days. 7 days will be okay for most people to do, even as beginners. So intended for beginners, but also intended for people who just, do cleanses regularly and who wants to join, because when we do things in a group, it's just even more powerful. And along with this cleanse, I've made a guided breathwork meditation, which is going to help to deal with some of these emotional cleanses and just generally help people to feel better. And there's also like a full video course which also explains everything you need to know. So it's for all levels, basically.
Awesome. I'm so excited to try more of these recipes. I was just reading through them this morning and looking at, like, it just seems like unique combinations that you've come up with. So very excited to try. I love all the herbs that you use. So definitely makes the juices more interesting. So do you have any like naysayers or, I don't know, people that question your lifestyle or, come at you with debates and stuff, and like, what do you say to those people? And just out of curiosity, if you ever get any.
Yeah, 1 second, I pushed something on the screen, so I'm trying to, well, whatever. Naysayers, I have a lot in the beginning. When I first went raw, like literally my whole family it felt like they were against me, but that's just how it feels when you're like a teenager, changing your lifestyle so drastically and you have no one in your life that basically understands or supports you. But it was so drastic from how my family normally eats as a typical Danish family, very heavy on meat and stuff. And they were really after me, thinking I was devil. So I think I had my rough time at that point, and it taught me to be like non-militant about my diet. I had a period where I was like preaching, and where I was like telling people that veganism is the thing and all this sort of stuff. And I just learned that it wasn't taking me anywhere. Like compassion is really the only way, and I just have to be the example. And now my family, of course, are like, oh, I think you're right, But of course, 10 years down the road, the proof is in the pudding, and I'm like such a different person now than I was then. And now I don't really meet many people who are against it simply because I don't preach it. Like, yeah, sure, I have my page, but people come there if they want to be there. I'm not trying to recruit anyone, My biggest tip to everyone would just be to be like compassionate and don't be like preachy. Just be the example, like you are as well, Katie. Like your proof is everything, Like what can people say to that? Your proof is like the proof. So you just have to live what makes you feel good, and if you genuinely believe it can help people, then of course if people ask you, then answer them and stuff, but don't try and shove it down their throat. I just don't think it
right I agree. Let's see here.
There's some comments I'm trying to see, but there you go. Where am I to?
Is about the sugar spikes.
Okay, yes. Great. Yes, that's a great question as well.
So they're asking, sugar spikes can be bad for the body. Fiber helps release the sugar naturally into the bloodstream. Any insight on this?
Yes, so that's also a great question. Generally, fruit sugar is not so well known at this point. Many times people think that the studies on corn syrup is like equation to fruit sugar, because high fructose corn syrup is like fructose, and there's a lot of fructose in fruits. But this difference is that fruits come in a package. You have vitamins, you have minerals, and then normally you have fiber, but yes, we take that out here. But even just a combination of vitamins and minerals help us absorb the fruits, the sugars in a much different way, because it's an interaction. And high fructose corn syrup is basically refined extracted fructose. Like you don't have much anything there. The other thing with the juicing is that you eat very low fat when you juice naturally, because we're not juicing any nuts, we're not juicing any avocado, we're not using oils. And the main issue with blood sugar spikes has to do when you combine fat and sugar, because the fat goes in and inhibits the insulin in reaching the actual sugar in the bloodstream. So that eliminates a lot of it. I do recommend in my ebook guide that if people feel like it's too much sugar, just add more greens, because the minerals are going to help slow down the release of the sugar into the bloodstream. But you cannot really do a juice cleanse without fruits. It's going to be so difficult because you won't get enough calories, and it's still important to get like enough fuel. But unless you have diabetes, you don't have to worry about it. Just add more greens. I do recommend green juices every day, and 7 of the recipes are green juice recipes. So just have that. And unless you're diabetic, don't worry. If you're diabetic, either talk with your doctor, I have to say that, but your doctor is probably not going to be very supportive. But then you can go for lower sugar fruits such as pineapple, oranges, grapefruits, and that sort of stuff. So maybe that answers it a little bit.
Yes, yes. And also I think apples are a good one for diabetics, maybe because the pectin, which I think is still present in the juice, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I've had some people that have diabetes come on my page and ask me about, is fruit okay? Is this much fruit okay? And like you said, it's the fat that's the problem mainly. So definitely agree with that. So oops, excuse me.
Yeah,
sorry, mine is all over the place.
No, don't worry.
Sorry,
Diabetes is caused by too much animal fat, which makes people insulin resistant, and that's very accurate. Like it has been shown that diabetes can be actually turned on and off through ingesting animal foods. So the main culprit is animal foods, and especially beef and meat is like the worst you can ingest for diabetes. So even though it's like a sugar disease, it doesn't actually, it's not caused by the sugar. The sugar is just like the symptom of the real problem.
Exactly. And I've heard that eggs are actually really bad for diabetes too. There's some studies on that.
Or
sorry,
yeah,
what? Oh, eggs, yeah.
Yeah.
From chicken, yep. So let's see.
Guys, you have to try this juice. It's so good.
Oh yes, so good. I'm trying to like savor mine and drink it slowly because I don't want it to end. So in your ebook, you talk a little bit about like reactivating your angelic DNA. Do you want to talk about any of that or?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so that's when we go really deep into rabbit hole or what people will say. But that's like I'm trying to take these shoes kind of introducing people a little into this world that I live in. But I have actually a whole other page that talks a lot about the angelic DNA and stuff. But
okay. Is that your ebook?
Say what?
Oh, sorry. Is that your other ebook, the Talking to Angels, or?
Yes. Yes, that book is actually specifically about how you activate your own angelic DNA. And maybe that sounds a bit like foreign to people, but what it basically means is activating your higher self, so to speak. It's like our DNA actually has a lot of potential. Our DNA holds so much information, and a lot of it is not tapped into. It's like unlocked. But when I say activating your angelic DNA, it just means you go in and you unlock certain things in your DNA, which is like higher abilities. It can be this information about your life purpose, creativity. Some people, they even like see visions or see colors. I mean, there's many different ways, or you can have more of intuition or psychic abilities. In reality, it's just about tapping into your higher self. And that's what the juice cleanse does, because it's so high frequency that it allows for awakening of something in your DNA, both thanks to the hydration, thanks to the cleansing that you're doing, and thanks to raising the frequency through the biophotons, which is something we do know by science that these raw foods contain through the helium photography we talked a bit about the last time. And biophotons are actually produced within our cells all the time, because we're living beings, and all living systems produce biophotons. And what is interesting, and what was shown through the Kirlian photography, is that foods that are cooked are not containing biophotons. And what they do is they scramble the biophotons in a system, means they create disharmony. So when we ingest this disharmony all the time, our body is just busy in trying to reestablish harmony, But then suddenly, when we stop ingesting this harmony and we take in foods that actually help create harmony in our body, then we have this free energy that can go to a higher purpose. I don't know if I explained that really well. I'm trying to make it something understandable, but it's like, it's just activating something within your own body, something that all of us have.
Oh, no, that makes sense. You did explain it well. Thank you. So in your ebook, you talk a lot about structured water too. Do you want to touch on that at all, and like the hydration aspect of a juice cleanse and how it can hydrate us at a deeper level?
Yeah, so basically, fruits and vegetables, they contain like a really pure form of water. Actually, many water filters are based upon how fruits and vegetables filtrate the water that the tree or the plant absorbs. I know many water filters are they're based on coconut or apple, how apple trees function, because nature is pretty intelligent and it's done many things very, very well. So when the tree or the plant absorbs the water from the ground or from the rain or the air through the humidity, it will be filtrated through the entire tree or plant and even fruit itself. And I don't know the exact whole procedure, but basically the fruit we end up with has the cleanest and the purest water of the entire plant. And so this is a type of water that it's it's not studied yet. I can't say this is backed by science because it's not. So people just have to be aware of that. But it's like speculated that this water is called structured water, which is a H3 O2 or something like that, or H3O3. I don't remember. One of those, I have it in the book. That is like very compatible to the water that exists in our body. And because it's so compatible, it hydrates us much more efficiently. And some people call it living waters as well. Like they have a specific structure with some kind of hexagonal clusters or something like that. And when we take in this water, like maybe you felt it yourself in the juice cleanse, it's like the hydration is unreal. It's just like, wow, okay, this is how it feels to be hydrated. You know, it's just so next level that all I can say is I could say it would be true because I felt it, you know, but I can't prove it through science. This is just what many people have said. I believe there's truth to it, but everyone needs to take it with a grain of salt. But hydration, I mean, we're water beings, we're mainly water. So when we're hydrated, which is very rare, most people in this world are dehydrated and very dehydrated because of the foods they eat, because we live in an environment that's dehydrating, you know, full of toxins, and we constantly have to cleanse our body. And again, the more physical stuff your body has to work with, the less energy there is for higher purpose, which is spiritual awakening and spirituality. The more clean your body is, the more your energy, your Kundalini energy can go to actually higher purposes. And so when we hydrate ourselves for the juices, suddenly your body has more space and more room to work with this higher purposes of life, which is, you know, self-actualization, self-realization, understanding how life works, etc. So
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And I think a lot, like, I mean, I've heard this, I, again, can't prove anything, but I've heard that a lot of, you know, modern day diseases and conditions are actually caused by this dehydration that people experience just from, you know, drinking coffee or eating really dry, dehydrated cooked foods, and even just stress in general. And it's interesting how, like, after my juice cleanse, I did notice, like, I felt so hydrated, like I didn't have any dry skin anymore. Like the skin on my feet even like gets cracked in the wintertime, like that went away. And like you just have this feeling like your cells are all full of water. Like, I don't know, it's hard to explain until you felt it.
yeah,
Like I still crave that level of hydration, which I think,
yeah,
you know, I'm not saying it's only, you can definitely get that by, I think, eating lots of raw food as well, but it's definitely more powerful on the juices because you're just taking in the straight structured water, basically.
yeah. Juicing
Very
is like
powerful.
It's next level, and that's why I really want people to experience these 7 days, because you just won't know the power of juicing until you've done it. Like me, I used to judge it in the past, but I had never done it. So how can I judge something that I actually didn't experience? And the hydration is just, it is, to me, it feels literally like you go into a different frequency, like you exist in a different frequency, if I am to explain it, like on an energetic kind of level. You just, yeah, your body is really amazing.
That's amazing. And like, I think it's powerful too, like what you're doing with this more spiritual juice fast, because you're setting this intention with your cleanse. It's not just, to lose weight or, to that. It's like a holistic approach. And I think also a lot of diseases can be caused by like energy blockages in the body. And I think it's cool, like the chakra balancing and the intention and the breath work, like you said, just it's kind of a powerful healing modality. What you're
Wow, that's a great way to see it. I hadn't thought about it like that. Yeah, that's beautiful, Katie. Cool. And I especially want to have this focus because I see juicing especially being abused by weight loss communities, as a weight loss modality, which if it gets people juicing, great, because I started raw foods for weight loss reasons and it changed my life, so that can still be powerful. But the issue with juicing is that it's so easy to not drink enough. And I really try to point out in the book how important it is to drink enough. And that means like a heck of a lot of juice. Like
yeah.
I got to 2 gallons a day when I was juicing. And I want people to just, stop worrying about the calories or whatever. If your body's supposed to lose weight, it will. But you need to focus on your spirituality and your well-being. So, yeah, that's like the main focus. And also where intention is where energy flows. So when we go into this juice cleanse and we think, okay, I actually want to become more creative, or I want to figure out why I'm here. Well, that's most likely what you're going to get out of it. And I kind of like, for the people who join this course, I've already set the intention, and I've done the cleanses myself many times. So people who join this course also join like a special energy. It's like I've done an activation for these people, so they will automatically be activated into an energy that helps them experience this much faster, because I've lived it myself, and you learn the best from people who've done it yourself. So yeah, I think the whole energy is going to help, but at least that's my intention.
Very cool. So for you and your experience with juice cleansing, sorry, there's a noise in the background.
I live like next to a little road. I mean, it's in a town, but sometimes there's a motorcycle that will.
With your experience juice cleansing, because you've done several of them at this point, do you notice like reaching higher spiritual realms, like the more juice cleansing you do, or is it always kind of just like rebalancing and coming back to your true authentic self? Or can you explain that a little bit?
Yes. When you ask higher spiritual realms, do you mean like just to understand the question, you mean that you feel like you move up in frequency, or?
Yeah, like is it like progressive, like the more juice cleansing you do, like do you reach higher frequencies that you've noticed? Do you become more spiritual as you do more of these cleanses?
Yeah, that's a great question, Katie. I haven't seen that myself, but also, I mean, I haven't done 10 years of juice cleansing. It's mainly this year I've gone into it a lot, and my cleanse is supposed to be for like beginners and anyone really, but especially beginners. I haven't seen that, you go to higher realms necessarily. It's more that you're going to be faced with whatever is keeping you at a lower place where you don't want to be. Like whenever I do a juice cleanse, I always have some stuff come up, but it's in a good way, it's in a way where finally you can actually move past it. You can work through it and move past it. I feel like whenever I do a juice cleanse, I always see more clearly the patterns that have been controlling me. Like suddenly it's like I see it from the outside, Whereas before I was just in the midst of it, in the midst of the chaos. Now you can see from the outside and you could be like, okay, this is what was going on. Okay, let's work through this. So for me, it's just every time like a little reset, both physically and emotionally and spiritually. And yes, I do feel like my body gets so light, but then at some point I have to go down and ground it again. I do feel like definitely it's possible to do too much juice cleansing, and I feel like it's a really fine balance. I do see some people end up in a place where they like go back and forth between juicing and literally binging on junk foods because it can actually be difficult to start eating again once you've done a juice cleanse because you feel so much up here. And then suddenly you eat something, even like a salad, and you feel like, oh, this is heavy. Like, this is not what I'm used to. But it's important to be grounded. Like, I like to compare spirituality to the same, like being a tree. You need to have the root firmly in the ground, but you also need to reach high. But you need to have both because otherwise you're gonna, fly up there and maybe, completely lose yourself somewhere. So we need to have a balance. So I noticed sometimes, like this summer, I did 2 months of mainly juices, and at some point I was like, you have to stop now because I'm getting I had even at some point difficulty functioning like in the city with people because suddenly all the energies, I could feel everything, and then I was like, no, I have to ground myself a little bit and just know the balance. I feel like it's a balance, everything.
Gotcha. Yeah, so breaking the fast is incredibly important, is what you're saying too.
Yeah, I mean, I do encourage people if they want to do it a bit longer, go ahead. It's just 7 days, But I have several chapters on both how to break the fast properly. I also have a meal plan example of how you can eat after the fast, and then like a little chapter on the purest trap, I call it, that place where you can get caught in thinking juices is the only real food to have.
Right.
And now everything is that kind of. So I'm trying to really protect the people who are going to come into it because I've seen the traps that are there. Oh, we have a cat.
Rosie, my cat.
So yeah, I wanted to do something that is safe for people to do, can help them come, live in a normal world. Yeah, normal world. Our world is as it is right now, but you know what I mean.
Right. And juicing, so like, some people, give you crap about juicing because it's unnatural and yeah, there's no fiber and everything. But, I have to remind people too that we live in an unnatural world and there's so many stuff sprayed throughout the air and, radiation and all this stuff that we're dealing with that naturally, we're not designed to handle. So I definitely think, yeah, even though it's more intense of a protocol than just say, raw food, I think it is needed a lot of times, especially if you feel called to it. So it can really help with that.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's so important what you say there, Katie, is I used to be very much into this natural hygiene where you try and live like 100% as nature. And actually, I hurt myself a lot by doing that because we don't live in a world like that. And it's important to use, something on your teeth. It's important to wash your hair. It's important to sometimes even take supplements. There are some supplements that I think are really important for health. So we just have to kind of like adjust everything. And also, if you've been living decades with eating crap food, yeah, then maybe you need to take a little stronger measure to get some of the crap out, like do a cleanse of some sort or.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, hello, Rashita. Yes, if any of you guys have more questions for Celia, please let us know in the chat. Yeah, so if you just want to run through like what all is included in your program, your 7-day life purpose juice cleanse, just quickly for folks that have just joined or don't know.
Yes, of course, Katie. So the 7-day life purpose juice cleanse is a juice cleanse we'll do here on the 10th of January. And with it comes like an ebook guide that will teach you everything you need to know about juicing, like everything. If you know nothing about juicing, don't worry, you will find it in there. Also, it comes with 21 recipes that covers you for the entire week, so you don't even have to make up your own juice recipes or anything on the shopping list. So you literally can shop everything in one go, which is what I recommend for the people who join the cleanse, have everything ready. And along with it comes also a masterclass video course. For those of you who want a little more detail, I've filmed everything in a video course that you can come to whenever you want. A guided breathwork meditation, which is intended to help us tap into especially a crown chakra and our higher purpose. And then finally, a private Facebook support group, which is important when you do something like a cleanse. It can be difficult, there will be challenges. So it's just so powerful to be around other people who are doing it and around a coach like me who's going to help you and bring you into the energy of success. So this is like one package that I sell now for the 10th, but also if people they can't do it on the 10th, or they don't want to do it right now, or they just want the recipes, you can also just get the book. I sell that one by itself, and you can do it whenever you want. Because the book, it contains everything you need, basically. So.
Awesome. We have another question here. This question is for you both. How frequently do you cleanse or recommend cleanses? For me, I guess, just whenever. Sorry.
Thoughts are always welcome.
Sorry. I guess for me, like, I cleanse whenever I feel like I need to, which I notice I'll feel sluggish. A lot of times it's after the holidays. Work is extremely stressful for me around the holidays, and I eat, not optimally always. So usually I do one, in like January, February, and then I usually do like a summer one and a fall one personally, but that's just kind of what works best for me. I don't know about you, Celia.
Yeah, I think everyone has to kind of get to know themselves a bit. We all have a schedule and kind of fit it in there. I've always somehow felt like the spring is such a potent time to do a cleanse. And I think astrologically, or even with the climate, happens some things. It's just like, the spring cleanse is just a thing, that we're kind of like setting ourselves up for a new season. So I always intuitively, I always want to do something in the spring. But this year, I've done like so many times, even just sometimes doing a 2-3 day juice cleanse can really give me the reset that I need. So I just listen to myself really and do it whenever I feel called to it.
Right. Same.
Yeah, but of course after the holidays, many people want to cleanse, and that's also why I put the cleanse here in January, because everyone wants that New Year cleanse, and I'm hoping that I will catch some of the people who are just trying the weight loss thing and actually get them to, become interested in something that can help them throughout their entire life, other than just like losing some weight.
Definitely. This kitty cat is in the way. So with the detox and that comes with the juice cleanse, do you recommend any like eliminative stuff like herbs or like colon cleansing or anything like that?
Yeah, that's also a great question. I do have in the ebook a little chapter that's called Helpful Tips, and in there I talk about all the helpful tips that you can use when you do cleanse, and one of them is 100% NMS. Like, I just cannot recommend NMS enough. I know that some people, they like cringe when they hear about NMS because they can't imagine, putting water up their butt to say it as it is. But literally, it's like any pipes, anywhere you need to cleanse here and there. And actually, it's kind of funny because in the 19th century, NMS were like so common, especially in France. People would do them every single day. It was just like something you did, like showering your body. And I think especially in a juice cleanse, it's important because you're rehydrating very old stuff in your colon. Some people estimate that we have like between 15 to 20 meals backed up in our colon. And many of those meals can be really many years old, especially if you've eaten fried foods or very dried foods, or just had a stressful period where you didn't go to the bathroom a lot. And when that rehydrates, you can feel a little uncomfortable, it's because suddenly you're actually bringing out into the bloodstream some of this stuff. Instead of going through the suffering, just do an enema and get it out. That's what I recommend, and I do them regularly myself. Like every month, I will do at least one enema. It's not dangerous as long as you only use water. It's very easy. You can buy an enema kit for 20 euros on Amazon. And on a juice cleanse, it will just help you tons and tons and tons. So that's like my main thing.
Definitely. I did a 30-day juice cleanse
Yeah.
last year, and I didn't do the enemas until like the last week or two because I was like scared of it. You know, I didn't know what I was doing. And
Yeah.
I totally regret not doing it the whole time because it made such a big difference.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh. It's so nice. Cats, they always like, they're like attracted to high frequency. So you must be very high frequency.
Aw. Aw, she's so sweet. My other cat like hides from people, and she's super social and is always
I just,
out and around me. She's like my
yeah.
shadow. But yes, the enemas definitely I recommend. And I've actually tried a colonic before too, which is a little different than an enema for people that don't know. It's like a higher pressure, and they use more water, so it fills up like your entire colon. That felt super aggressive to me, where the enemas feel like something, if I wanted to, I could do it daily and I wouldn't, you know, think anything of it. It's super gentle and easy, and you will get a lot of stuff out, and you know, like you said, it rehydrates things and, you know, moves the toxins out, so you have way less detox symptoms. So definitely I agree with that 100%.
Wow. Like, cool to hear that you tried them. I know, was it your first time ever that you tried another one? Yeah. It can seem a bit scary at first, right?
Yeah, because you're like, oh, what's gonna happen? Is, you know, something gonna pop down there? Like, honestly, it's not like super high pressure or anything. The colonic was, it felt like I was gonna like explode or something, and it was, for me, too aggressive of a cleanse down there. Where I think the enema just kind of gently helps it move along. And it
Yeah.
probably, I would think that the colonic would also like kind of clear out some of your good bacteria too, a little bit more than say just an enema with water. I know some people like coffee enemas. I've tried those before, but I didn't notice a huge difference between that and just water personally. So I do use water.
Yeah. Yeah, there are many different. Be careful with the coffee enemas, I would say, because you get caffeine like directly into your bloodstream, absorbed through the colon. So I personally, I've never tried it, so I can't say. But I have in the book a link to a tutorial I made as well, and I do recommend one anti-parasitical enema that I do sometimes with some stuff that is like a home remedy that I literally put in there.
Oh,
But
nice.
that's powerful as well for people who want to
I'll
do
have
that.
to try that. I've never like seen parasites come out of me until I discovered like grape juice. Like when I just drink grape juice, sometimes like I'll just see them.
Really?
Yeah, like I don't know, maybe it's just the grapes are so powerful, or I don't
Wow.
know.
I
But
never heard that before. So, wow, you actually eliminate parasites from drinking grape juice, like pure grape juice?
yeah, just pure grape juice. I usually use lemon with it too, just because it's super sweet otherwise. But lemons and grape juice, and I mean, even like sometimes if I'm eating like cooked vegan food or something and I drink like a little bit of grape juice, I'll still see stuff come out and I'm like, wow, this must be the grape juice. For me anyway. I don't know, somehow it pulls it out. I've also heard that pumpkin seeds, if you like blend pumpkin seeds, or you could just eat them too, something about them makes like it's slippery down there so they can't like hang on or whatever. I know that sounds really gross, but I guess I haven't experimented too much with those, but yeah, definitely grape juice I've noticed.
Wow, that's cool. I have grape juice every day. So,
Oh, good.
but yeah, no, thanks to the enema where I put this remedy, I saw like, and sometimes pretty, sorry guys for all the information, but long ones, you know, that means you've had them there for a bit, so you just want them out. And I mean, for those of you that are watching this, I'm sorry, but most people do have at some point or another. parasites if you've ever eaten a standard diet, because they're just basically eating the crap that is stuck in there, you know. But it also has to do with immunity. So when we get a healthy immune system, thanks to eating more according with nature and treating ourselves well, then we actually they can't survive because the eggs are killed already in the stomach acid. So,
Exactly.
I remember when I first heard about parasites years ago, I had such a strong reaction. Like I almost became mad at the people who were talking about it. I was like, that's not true. That cannot be true. That's disgusting, you know? Until I saw it with my own eyes and I was like, man, okay.
Yep, everybody has them. Pretty much everybody anyway. So, oh, somebody said black walnuts helps kill them. Oh, did not know that. Good to know. I've heard, like, have you ever done any like herbal supplements to go with your juice cleanses, and has that been a lot more powerful?
I haven't done it with a juice cleanse. That might actually be a good idea. But I did do a 3-month anti-parasite herbal thing from Marcus Rothkranz. I don't know if you know. He has like, I trust him a lot because he just makes really good quality products. And I was eating actually standard vegan at the time. I wasn't even eating raw, but I felt like a huge difference in like suddenly I wasn't so hungry. Like I was still hungry, but it wasn't like this uncontrollable hunger. You know, it felt like, oh, suddenly I'm just eating for myself now and not for anybody else as well. And plus, I had like a nail fungus which went away thanks to those like herbal things.
Wow.
So definitely helped something.
That's awesome. I'll have to try that sometime. I've never done like a anti-parasite cleanse, but I know Dr. Morse makes one too. And I was gonna say something else. Sorry, my cat is distracting me right now.
Don't worry. I love like just looking at you with your cat is literally aesthetic because the colors of your eyeshadow and your hair and the cloud is just like beautiful. I know that that's
thank you. Yeah, she's my little ginger kitty.
Yeah.
Matches me. I was gonna say something else. What was I gonna say? We're talking about parasites. I lost my thought. I don't know what I was gonna say. Probably related to parasites, but
Guys, if you have any questions about parasites, just ask them in the chat. We're open community here. We don't mind talking about it.
Yeah, but definitely eliminating that stuff is super beneficial. Yeah, I need to try I was gonna say, I guess that Marcus Rothkranz, he makes a really nice greens formula too that I've used, and it has a lot of wild plants in it and really cool stuff. Super powerful. I've used that before, definitely.
Yeah, it's that. Oh, what's it called? I don't remember the name.
It's like, I want to say like Power Greens, but that's not right. It's like greens formula, greens. I can see the packaging in my head, but
yeah, I know. I used to buy it and pay like the crazy taxes to get it all the way to Spain just because it's that good, you know.
Yeah.
I trust that guy a lot. He seems very authentic, and I think he makes like a lot of the stuff. He really kind of watches over how it's made and everything.
Definitely.
Because I think when it comes to parasite cleanse, you definitely have to be careful. I think they found in some studies that like 75% of all these natural medicines that are sold are like not containing what they actually state on the packaging that they contain, because there's no regulations. Like in the pharmaceutical industry, you have regulations. In these more herbal industries, you don't have any regulations. So people can just like say, okay, this is what it contains, but then they put some cheap crap in there or something.
Oh,
so really
true. Right, that makes sense. Marcus Greens. I think that's what it's called, just Marcus Greens.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So what do you have anything that you do specifically with the juice pulp? Do you save it or use it for anything?
No, unfortunately not. I mean, during a juice cleanse, it doesn't make much sense anyway because you're just gonna take the juices. And no, I just throw it. I have tried sometimes to make some veggie crackers, but I found there were too fibrous, like from the celery pulp and stuff. I didn't like it. But I know that there's some raw vegans. I think Tani Raw, she has some recipes using the juice pulp. Maybe if you have some sort of animals that can eat the pulp without getting hurt. I don't know, but I personally no. Only would say carrot pulp you can use for anything, like carrot cake or.
Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, carrot pulp. I use it for raw pizzas. I just put it in my freezer for when I'm going to be eating again because it's quite dense and heavy, like compared to the juices. So I don't eat it while I'm on a juice cleanse either, but I do put it in my freezer, and I do find that something about like freezing the fibers and then thawing it back out again, like softens it a little bit. And then you blend that with like some zucchini and spices and stuff, and that gives you a nice like paste, I guess, to dehydrate. And I've made really good like crusts and stuff out of it. And then also too, like, I don't know if you garden at all, but the pulp is really good for the soil. So I've been throwing, like, I know it's the dead of winter, but I still like throw my pulp out in the garden. So in the springtime, it can refertilize the soil a little bit.
Oh, that's some great tips. And which pulp is it you save for the pizza base?
So usually just my veggie juice that I make, which usually is just like celery, cucumber, lemon, bell pepper, tomato, and then cilantro or parsley. Usually that one. Yep, and that makes it really savory. I just add like some Italian spices to it, and blend it up so it's not as like fibrous, like you said. And then dehydrate it for like 8 hours and flip it, and then like another couple hours on the other side.
Wow, I'm gonna try that.
Yeah, it's very good. So anyway, it's been about an hour here. Do you want to just wrap up and give any final words about your course or any other additional information for people?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me, Katie, and for you guys who watched our live chat. I feel like we always talk about like we go many places, and it's so cool, just to see where the conversation goes. For anyone who's interested in the 7-day Life Purpose Juice Cleanse, you can come check it out. I have in my link in bio, I have like a link. You can go read about it, what it entails, and I know that it's going to be like a super transformative week, to be honest. This is for people who really want to, go a bit deeper, who wants to understand themselves a bit more, understand life, and get a cleaner, healthier body at the same time. So the intention is set, and it's going to be transformative. So go read about it, see if you feel called to it. I know the right people will find it. So you can have a look, and it's still open, of course. You can also just check out the book if you don't want to join the cleanse. And yeah, if you have any questions about juicing, just ask Katie or ask me. Thank you so much for giving me the space to talk about it.
Yes, thank you so much for coming on here. You've been really insightful into the spiritual aspect of raw foods and juicing. Definitely something I want to personally dive deeper into. So I'm definitely looking forward to your fast next week. And then Celia has also been nice enough to make a discount code for any of my followers that are interested. I put the link in my bio with the discount code. It's Juice Love, I believe. And you can get 10% off. So there's that for you guys. And again, just thank you so much. I always have a great conversation with you. And sorry about, I'm a little ADD this morning with my cat, but it's been great. So I hope you have a great Sunday. And thanks to anybody who asked questions and joined the chat. And we'll talk to you later.
Oh, thanks everyone. Thanks, Katie. Enjoy your weekend.
Bye.
Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this interview. Please go check out where you can read more about the juice cleanse, and I would love to see you there. The more we are together with the right intention, the more powerful the energy becomes. So Let's work together as a team to cleanse ourselves and connect ourselves with the divine, because this is not only something that benefits us, but it benefits the entire planet. So thank you so much for tuning in, and if you're new here, of course subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Ciao!